My fellow Americans, good evening. Welcome back to another stream. This is it should be episode 400 something, I think. I think that's about right. I've been back to numbering my episodes. I'm still in the middle of doing it. I'm in episode 150 I've been writing down so far. And there's still another 300 more to go. Or at least 300 in total. I don't know how long I've been streaming for. But we'll see. Eventually I'll catch up with, counting each video. I'm putting the episode number in the description because I eventually want to catch up and, have my normal stream start off as, hey, welcome to episode whatever number we are on, right? And yeah, I don't know, maybe make some improvements. I've been reflecting, okay, on my day off today, on my day of unemployment, I've been thinking, what can I do to improve the stream? What am I doing with my life right now? I've just lost a lot of money in crypto. What do I do? How do I make the money back? How do I become rich and powerful and famous and just generally more attractive with all that status? And ultimately I thought you gotta try harder in crypto. No, I'm kidding. That's not the real reason. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe, why can't I get a really good job? Am I lacking somewhere? I'm gonna ask AI. I'll convert my life to AI, and I'll let it drive every decision that I do. I'll consult with it. I'll pay for it if I have to. Rather, I'll pirate it. Screw paying for that. I don't have money. So, anyways, no, it's not me planning anything illegal. Okay, relax. What do we have today? Bitcoin's price recovered. Luckily, 60,000 seems to have been the bounce. 59,809. Oh, that's what it says on my exchange. A lot of exchanges, they show different numbers. It's roughly around 60k. And it's been up only so far. We've slowed down at 70k, which seems to be reasonable. 70k, 70,296 is the current price, is what I'm trying to say. If we do manage to continue rising, which we are probably not going to do, it's not like the price of Bitcoin moves on a Saturday, does it? Let's ignore what happened last Saturday and focus on 99% of the other Saturdays that have ever happened. The price of crypto does not move. So low liquidity, unless we get some manipulation again, because that's what Binance seems to like to do on low liquidity hours. Is just to manipulate the price because they absolutely can. So good on you. I do wish to obtain that kind of power someday. Not for malicious intent, once again. Anyways, my P&L does not look as bad as I would have thought anymore. So it's still red. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to rise above 80,000 just to see a bit of green in this portfolio that has not seen any green for a very long time, I think. I don't know. Anyways, we gotta find the ground somewhere. Seems to be 60k for now. We'll see how much slower we do tend to go. We are still in the downtrend, which invalidates at 77,750. So if we are to rise, I would expect us to retest that line. It's likely that I don't know, if the sell pressure does continue, which I feel like it might, because we're at extreme fear at these prices, we might get a bounce from that line and not be able to break or close around 80,000. That's what I would ultimately predict. If we do, I mean, that would be a great sign, but I don't know, if we do get past 77,000, it would flip the trend in our favor, right? Cause us to reaccumulate and then retest that uptrend line wherever it decides to go, right? If we eventually do decide to rise again to whatever excuse of a downtrend line we do have from here, which this one would basically be from the all-time high, and then there's no more downtrend, which it seemed like that was the clearest signal at the time when we had our initial breakout, which would have been around over here. We broke out of a downtrend line that came from our all-time high, and I said, guys, there's no more downtrend on Bitcoin. You cannot draw one. We are in an uptrend after we bottomed at 80,000 the first time. We've been recovering. We rose to 98,000, close enough to the big 100k, but we were not able to break further, meaning that has become the next high point and what just appears to be a macro downtrend for the time being. So for us to retest that, That's why this line over here is going to be important. I don't know where exactly it's going to be. It depends on time and how long it takes for us to get there. And if this even does play out in the first place, which don't know if it will. Given this whole market sentiment, nobody feels like buying. So yeah, we shall see. I did hear some stuff as well from other people expecting it to drop, maybe 40k, maybe 35k, like Blow and Chunk said. I don't know if that's going to actually go, and I really hope it doesn't, because I'd be absolutely liquidated and have like literally no money this time, actually. I always have some money from somewhere, but don't worry, this is money I'm willing to lose. I've said that many times, but when I actually lose it, I'm like, no, I wasn't really supposed to lose, but it's okay. There was no salvation either way. Like, even with the 80,000, I'm upset I got stop hunted over here that one time, especially after we just, you know, liquidate me at the exact price, start going higher, and it's like, okay, well, I could have just recovered whatever I had. But my average price was still a little bit too high. I think I was averaging at 109,000. Maybe I dropped it to 100,000, I think. And then we ultimately never even saw that turn green either. Can this situation do the same thing again over here? I really hope not. But yeah. I'm hoping 60k was the bottom, for now at least. Give us a relief rally. If we do approach this, what would my move be? Would I be willing to just close the position at 0? If it's in an uptrend, I think I will not. But it has to be at an uptrend in order for my position to even be slightly break even or slightly green. So that's the decision I'm going to have to just see what I make for when the price approaches that area. So for now, yeah, it's a big risk. I think I probably will. If we do approach this area, I'm closing out with a small loss, taking all the money back, waiting it out. If I'm right, that and expecting that the price is going to head lower and we're going to break new lows, break below 50k, whatever it is, sure, so be it. And, you know, that way I avoid myself getting liquidated with the rest of the money. Or if I'm wrong and this thing just moons to 100k suddenly, yeah, I would have missed out on having a great average entry price. But I've done this comparison yesterday where it's like, even if I was to wait for, you know, a downtrend line to be broken and I enter while the price is in an uptrend, I would be entering at a more expensive price. And on average, what it seems like it would be roughly around that 80,000 price I would be entering anyway. The thing is that you're not exposed to a potential loss while we are in a downtrend and doing crazy things toward the downside. Especially if you do have a set liquidation price, my instance 53k, I don't want that to get hit. It might get hit. It's been pretty volatile these days. We're moving thousands of dollars, something we have not seen in a very long time for crypto. And I mean, even if you compare it to what was happening in 2024, we were stuck within this like $50,000 to $70,000 range for a good portion of 90% of the year until Donald wins. And then we mooned. Especially, I was reviewing through my older streams. I was looking at the prices, my reactions at the time, and yeah, man, I was a child. I still am. But yeah, it was a bit uneventful. Just seeing prices, okay, again, 60,000. Okay, again, you know, maybe 50,000 because we went to war in Iran or whatever. Or it's Israel bombing Iran or vice versa, whatever the case is. All that kind of stuff, up until Trump wins, and then we actually start moving the many thousands of dollars per day. Here we're kind of getting that same amount of movement, but toward the downside again, to the point where, you know, in one day, Bitcoin can just go from 70,000 to 60,000. That's a $10,000 movement. And then the next day, just recover all of that 10,000 once again. That is some high volatility on Bitcoin. Today, it's up 8% from its lowest. Is it even from its lowest? No, it's actually 17%. I don't think I've seen Bitcoin this volatile, right? Hey, big news for the unemployed. If you are able to catch a few scalp trades in between there, I mean, more power to you. Obviously, I'm not able to. Well, what was I doing today? I was reading today, okay? Give me a break. Tomorrow I have to work. How cringy is that? I really want to do like part-time instead of full-time. I don't think my job is going to let me though. Because it really does just take up a third of my life. The other third of my life is sleeping, and then I just have 1/3 of doing stuff that I really want to do, but I can't do. And then I gotta stream, and then I gotta read, and then I gotta do chores. Well, good thing I don't have a girlfriend to worry over. That's the only silver lining I see to where all this, like, dude, if I had to deal with a woman as well, dude, I would not be able to. My gosh. Anyways, Crypto Squid, hi, welcome. Never fear, Squid is here. Thank you. That is awesome. All right. So, that's what I see with Bitcoin for now. I have $10. Why do I have 10? Oh, you know what? BingX gave me, they did the thing again. Last time they did this was on October 10, okay? They said, hey, don't worry, we've got your back amid market volatility. We're going to give you some money. And I'm like, wow, they're going to compensate some of the hundreds of thousands that I just got liquidated on. How much do I get? $10. Okay, well, I mean, thanks, but come on. $10, dude, $10? I pay you thousands in fees. I literally closed a Bitcoin position one time paying 1,000 something dollars in fees. Come on now. Admittedly, it was funding fees, but same deal. Sure, fine. Okay, thanks. $10. Awesome. What am I going to do with this? Can I just, like, go max long right here? Screw it. That barely moved my entry price. And now I have $1 left. Awesome. So I also have, they were also generous enough to give me a $100 bonus position that force closes in 24 hours. It forces you to use 5x leverage. Let's see what we do. What is the worst token of all? I'm going with Aptos. I'm sorry. This thing has been dropping way too hard, and it's probably going to continue dropping. Although I think I get to decide when I open this bonus position. And I'm not going to do it on a Saturday when we're not going to get volatility. I'm probably going to wait until Sunday evening. Remind me to do that on Sunday evening. I have to write it down because I will forget. And even if I do write it down, I'm going to throw this paper aside and still forget. So it's worth an attempt either way. BingX 100 5x bonus. And let's see if I remember to do that. Okay, lovely. Yeah, I'm not going to touch it for now. We'll leave it there. A lot of decent recoveries for alts. Hyperliquid doing the opposite of everything, of course. I mean, admittedly. Oh, you got $3. At least I made 10. Hey, awesome. That's how we make the money. We lose a couple thousand, but we make $10 at the end of the day. That's just guarantee from the exchange, which is beautiful. Okay, so Ethereum seems like bottom for now was 1,741. My view still stands. If this downtrend is to continue, likely going to see levels of 1,500, 1,600. Don't know for sure. And who knows, maybe even lower at this point. If we do truly enter a bear market, if you're seeing Bitcoin like going below 40,000, good luck if you have Ethereum or if you care about it. Anything really. No altcoins will survive a catastrophic drop like that on Bitcoin. I do feel like that is way too far down to go though. But we shall see. Solana, $87.30. Ethereum's price was $2,059, by the way. Decent recovery, 8% up. Solana is 13% up from its low, 6.7. Current price is 87. Why are we still below 100? This is criminal. Yeah, no thoughts on Solana for now. 103 is where downtrend invalidates. Just go above 100. Make us all happy, please. Buying Solana at 100, I would be content with that. If it confirms that is an uptrend and you're buying Solana at $100, come on. I was literally pulling my hair out because I couldn't try to get Solana at 190, 170 at the time. Because Solana was averaging 220, 240, 250. So seeing Solana at 100, I mean, if you wanted to buy it at 170, why not buy it at 87? So yeah, Hyperliquid, it's staying at where belongs. It's fine. It says it's down 7%. Not really. Don't worry too much about that. Still at $32.68. It's totally fine. Staying between $30 to $40. I would like to see Hyperliquid stay there, especially for Saturday. So, yeah. SUI. $1.01. We hit a low of 78 cents yesterday. That was devastating. We hit that support too, I guess, which was at 76. We're now... I mean, is this a bounce? This is not really a bounce, really. This could continue lower, so don't be fooled by all the green candles. And it goes for every asset, right? Sure, today was a decent recovery day, but, you know, do not be fooled by it is what I would suggest. What else is next? Chainlink is up 11%, $8.87. Still decent. Lowest of $7.13. That was a new low for Chainlink. I did not like to see that, but in the long run, maybe you would really want to buy Link at these prices. Not financial advice, and I will not be doing that either. But I know for sure, not for sure, because obviously I'd be doing it. But yeah, in the long run, when Chainlink's actual utility proves itself and it's fairly valued at a much higher price, of course, not FOMO, like literally just fair value, higher price. Yeah, you would have wished you would have bought at $7, $8 when this thing is 20 something. Not even that. It deserves to be 30 plus. We had an all-time high of 50 for Chainlink, so you know. Just saying. BitTensor 167 is the current price. We bottomed at 142. Still in a downtrend and validates at 208. I'd like to see this above 200. Please and thank you. We'll see. Aptos at $1.13. Lowest was 90 cents. At least it wasn't as bad as SUI, but it will always be slightly higher than SUI. I don't know for how much longer, though. Like, in a couple of years, SUI will be valued, of course, at a higher dollar amount than Aptos, despite the difference in market cap, right? Has to do with, like, supply and, well, max supply, really. Aptos does not have any, SUI does. So the inflationary aspect of it all is what's important to notice. And of course, the utility of both L1s, if people even use them in the future. So I'm sure they will. Monero, decent recovery today, 10% up. $328 is the current price. Lowest was $276. The bottom at support 3 at $274 is where that level was determined. Close enough. $275 we could basically call the support line on Monero. The fact that we hit below 300 after hitting an all-time high of 800, what is even going on with this coin? Crazy volatility, which for trading, that is what you need. For investing, I'm nervous. I'm scared. But anyway, 328, sure. We need to be above 400, though, in order to be in an uptrend again for this thing. Where would you even draw an uptrend from? I don't even have enough historical chart data. I'm sure in other exchanges you will see it, and it's going to be like this steep, not steep, shallow uptrend line. Steep would be like, you know, something like we saw when the rise to all-time high happened. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I probably should... I'm thinking like I gotta fill up the space with maybe 1 or 2 more special coins of interest. I don't know which ones to put though. And I really don't think I really want to look at other coins right now. I could if you guys really want to, but like at this point, my interest is low for them, and so is the rest of the retail market. I don't have money to be buying into them, and I have a big position in Bitcoin to only focus on right now, and I think I'm okay with just sticking with Bitcoin, worrying about one thing whilst the rest of the market is crashing. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it all. 20 minutes in, beautiful. Let's go ahead and review some of the news. We got some interesting news to talk about today, so we'll be, I didn't even give you guys a preamble at the beginning of the stream, so we'll be going into a lot of racism from Trump, which is awesome. We'll be getting into Iran negotiations deal, perhaps, probably not, honestly. Some crypto news, what the billionaires, what the big guys are doing, and other stuff in the Middle East, mainly. So let's get into it. First thing, Trump posted this. Did you guys see this? That was interesting. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. At first I'm like, yeah, that sounds like Trump. Posting AI meme videos about other politicians. Classic. What else is new? But then I realized, oh wait, it's the Obama's family. So Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. And their faces are put on monkeys dancing to the... I don't even want to sing it. How do you sing it? You know, the lion sleeps tonight. That song. The African, I guess it's an African song. I don't know, a jungle song. Okay, but there's always like a twist with it. It's like, it's not like Trump posted this and that was it. That was the goal of the post, is to, you know, be racist against the Obamas. He was reposting a video, basically. And other people were like, okay, I'm praying this is fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of the White House and the president should remove it. Says every black person ever. Relax, man. It's pretty funny. This is the full video here. So, literally, this guy is a senator, apparently. Okay, I did not notice. Senator Scott. This was a meme that auto-played on a screen recording of the actual video that he posted. And this is the actual video that Trump posted, by the way. It has to do with what looks like chips and, voting machines. I didn't even watch the original video, so I have no clue what it was about. The only thing that stole the show was that Obama's monkey meme that got posted later. Says, please focus your energy on getting voter ID enacting and deporting the 30 plus illegal aliens in the country. What? 30 plus illegal aliens? Isn't there 30 million plus, maybe? Voters elected you to focus on these issues. Yeah, it's like literally charts on Georgia. This is the video. When reporting and counting resumed was a massive spike. How much longer do we have? Okay, here comes the video. Get ready. That favored Joe Biden. The video ends and it's like a TikTok or a reel that scrolls down and it shows that. But then the guy like scrolls up at the end and then the video cuts. Because the video ended and it auto scrolls. And how are you supposed to control what's in your algorithm? Well, newsflash, you can. And you do. So, questionable move. And it's also this other thing is like, I mean, if this was screen recorded, by the way, this was screen recorded. That's why that little image got in there. That's how it slipped in there. And you posted this, it's like, come on, at least crop out that part of the video. It's like they did this on purpose. And come on, I laughed. This was pretty funny. So, of course, racism bad, but come on. And it's the president that's doing it, dude. It's like, this is something that's going to go down in the history books. You know, we're going to remember as Trump being the guy that's posting AI memes on literally everybody that opposes him. And then, you know, this just being the icing on the cake. Interesting. So what a time that we live in. And they asked about this to Trump. It was like, hey, that was pretty racist. What are you doing here? Trump tells the fake news to screw off. He is not apologizing for that accidental Obama monkey video. No, I'm not going to fire the staffer. Apologize? No, I didn't make a mistake, is what he said. Screw the fake news. This was on the Air Force One press conference interviews that they usually give him. So he was well aware of it, but yeah, I don't know. Seems like the staffer that posted the video, I don't know. They had to have known, right? Surely. Because they would have watched the whole video. They would have recorded it. They would have known that you accidentally scrolled down and then you're like, oh, that's an Obama monkey video. Maybe I shouldn't show that to the whole planet under Trump's account. Yeah, I don't know. But the way everybody made it seem like, as I said in the beginning, is they thought like Trump posted just that. It wasn't even just that. There was like a whole educational video for a whole minute before that. And then it accidentally scrolled down. That's just funny. Awesome. Lovely. Okay. Anyways, moving on from all that. Let's get into the serious stuff. So a reporter asked him, would you support mass deportations of people who are otherwise law-abiding? Trump says that we want to see everybody, but we are focusing on the criminals and we are focusing on killers. We're focusing, okay, what? But ultimately, they all broke the law. It's exactly as I said during the campaign. So I don't know, it seems like we're not going to get the big mass deportations that were they really promised to us during the campaigning. I mean, that's what a lot of people expected, right? We were going to get ICE everywhere. We were going to deport all the illegals, regardless if they're good or bad people, right? And that had like, I don't know how much I should disclose, but people that I know who are not in the United States legally, um, they're good people. They are family. Yeah, I don't know how much I should say about this, but I mean, they're fine. They're paying their taxes. They have homes, you know, they're working jobs. There's nothing bad happening there. And they were actually stressing. Once I remember like when Trump did get elected and there was all this campaigning and propaganda that he's going to do this mass deportation thing, and you know, they were seeing the agents on the streets already like breaking into these places where there tends to be a lot of illegals. So I mean, yeah, closing the borders is one thing, but then getting the illegals out of the country, that's another thing. And arguably, I do kind of support it because, yeah, you are not in the country legally, so what's up with that? But then, of course, I understand the other angle of it, and I'm personally impacted by it because I said, like, I have family there too. So they were nervous about it. But now Trump seems to be stepping it down a little bit, toning it down a little. He's saying that there's a lot of mass self-deportations, which should balance out the numbers, I think is what he's trying to do here. And then the other thing is, yeah, we're actually going to get the bad guys, the pedophiles, the killers, the criminals, all of those guys who are illegal will also be deported, which, yeah, I'm also in favor of that too. Sure, get them out. Wish we had that here, but anyway, in Canada. So that's another thing. He's, after what happened in Minneapolis, of course, huge stink with ICE, then Trump seems to be toning it down a little bit more. Now, on the topic of Iran, Trump says that he had very good talks with Iran. It looks like they want to make a deal badly. We'll see what the deal is. It'll be different than last time. We have a big fleet heading in that direction. It'll be there pretty soon, so we'll see how that works out. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. He's sounding like me on every stream. What actually happened? Iran refuses to cease nuclear enrichment in early talks with the U.S. negotiating team, says the Wall Street Journal. So, seems like we're not really going to get much from it, unfortunately. What are these people talking about? Okay. And yeah, of course, good for defense stocks, I just saw. Yeah, seems like we might still go to war with them. I don't know. But seems like Iran has a different playbook, which could be this. I kind of agree with. They have zero intention of negotiating. This just seems to be like a stalling move. They want to stall until the domestic protests fade and the regime stabilizes. They want to stall until Trump is out. He leaves in 2028. They will quietly continue advancing their nuclear program. That's why it is off the table. They do not want to stop that nuclear production, uranium enrichment, whatever it is. Delaying isn't diplomacy, it's strategy, and never trust the RGC. Okay, lovely. So, yeah, that's this whole other issue with Iran. They just seem to be delaying the process on purpose, obviously to avoid an American strike. They're pretending to be like, yeah, let's go to the table, let's negotiate, yes, let's do it. Oh, not in Turkey, no, let's go to Oman, yes. Okay, and they're just like looking for different ways to delay everything. That's what it seems to be like for now. Which is better for crypto, because we're going to have this thing in the background the whole time until eventually it reaches this boiling point and something is going to happen. Whether the move starts with Israel or the United States or Iran themselves, I don't think it will from Iran. They're kind of delaying, right? And it seems like they're going to stay that way. They're not going to make the first move, a preemptive strike or anything like that. If anything, it's going to be, I would think maybe Israel, they're going to be like, dude, we're waiting too long, we got to do something. Or maybe they're going to make the US do something first, because it's like, okay, the protesters are still dying, we've got to do something. We promised them help is on the way. We're telling the Americans, hey, get out of the country. Whether that's just a call of their bluff or we're actually planning some kind of strike. You know, the Pentagon pizza thing, we're planning a bunch of stuff. But ultimately, no strikes are happening. I don't know. Or maybe that's part of the plan. They don't want us to know when the strikes will be happening. So far, what are the odds on Poly Market? What are the odds we strike Iran by June 30, a 47% chance. Why don't we have more date than that? It's a 50-50 at this point. And by June. So we shall see. Trump just signed an executive order as well that would allow the United States to impose 25% tariffs on any country doing business with Iran after a violation is recorded and confirmed. Okay. Okay, so we'll see what happens with that. That's Iran's situation. More stuff in the Middle East. Okay. Seems like Israel and Hamas, the Palestinians, the Gazans, they're kind of back at it. We had an airstrike from Israel on the Al Zaytun neighborhood in the Gaza city. The first strike since the October ceasefire. Let's go. They're starting back up now. How can one sign a ceasefire agreement and a peace agreement and then continue doing whatever one wants? That's the question the world is asking. But it seems like this was I don't want to say calculated, but it was planned, right? An IDF spokesperson, Avichai Adrai, issued an evacuation warning to residents in the Zaytun area of Gaza about their plans to strike a building due to the presence of Hamas terrorist infrastructure nearby. The airstrike was carried out just minutes ago in response to Hamas's latest ceasefire violation overnight. Okay, so who violates the ceasefire here? Israel is claiming Hamas did it. And then I think I clicked on this in my other post. Yeah, verify this. Based on recent reports from the time of Israel multiple X posts, the IDF did issue an evacuation order warning for a building in Zaytun, Gaza on February 6 today, citing Hamas infrastructure. The airstrike was carried out shortly after in response to overnight gunfire on troops, deemed a ceasefire violation. Okay, well, seems like Hamas is at fault then, if this is true. Palestinian media confirm the building's destruction. I mean, yeah, we've got it on video. Why were they... Is this person ducking down, by the way? Yeah, the guy's literally standing there ready to film this. They're like, yep, they're going to bomb this building in about a couple minutes, so we're just going to stand by and wait for it to happen and record it. And they did. So yeah, confirmed. No casualties noted in initial accounts. Hey, well, at least nobody died. Okay, well, there's that. I don't know if this will escalate further or if it dies down there. It's like eye for an eye type situation, so maybe. What else do we got? Benghazi. I don't know what Benghazi was about, so I'm going to have to look this up probably. But the Trump FBI has arrested a key terrorist behind the 2012 Benghazi attack that killed 4 brave Americans. Yeah, I'm going to look this up because I don't know anything about this. In 2012, I was a child and I was playing with Legos, okay? What happened in this attack? Members of the Islamic militant group Ansar al-Sharia carried out a coordinated attack against 2 United States government facilities in Benghazi, Libya on September 11, 2012. Interesting date. 4 deaths in Benghazi lasted 1 day. Interesting. So, the person responsible for this attack, they captured the guy. He landed in the U.S. at 3 a.m. this morning and was personally greeted by the FBI Director Kash Patel and U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro. Pam Bondi says, Hillary Clinton famously said, "What difference does it make?" It was a difference to Donald Trump. Charges they got was murder, terrorism, arson, and more. What is more? At 3 a.m., huh? What is this guy doing at 3 a.m.? Working hard, I guess. Here comes Kash Patel. After the bombshell arrest of a key Benghazi terrorist, the world knows that if you kill an American citizen in an act of terrorism, we will hunt you down. Even if it's 14 years later. Is my math right? Yes. We will bring you to justice here in America, not in some foreign court, not in some other proceeding. Here. You killed our own, so we are going to take it to the streets to make sure you are held accountable. Yeah, you're not safe. Not even 14 years later. There's no... What do you call that? I'm not even going to guess what the word is. The thing where it's like enough time has passed so you just forgive whatever happened. What do you call that? It's got some term for it. I forget right now. Kamala Harris, the headquarters account that they announced yesterday, seems like our stream's comments yesterday got to her, so she changed the account handle from headquarters 67 to headquarters 68. And she says, counting up until you guys go back to caring about actual things that matter. So we're counting up. Get it? 67 to 68 now. All right, Kamala Harris, relax. I don't know if you're being hip with the youngsters anymore, but hey, God bless you for trying. What else do we got? Keir Starmer. I'm seeing this hashtag Starmer out a lot, and it has to mainly do with what was happening with the Epstein files. The resignation of the what's his name? This UK lord, whatever his name was, who was literally in a picture with a young girl. He stepped down from the Labour Party in the UK. Lord Mandelson, it's right there. And everybody's like, okay, should Keir Starmer resign after knowing what he knew about Lord Mandelson's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? A lot of people are saying, yeah, you should. So, I don't know. We'll see if that does happen in the UK. Am I in favor of it? Sure, get a new guy in there. UK is not doing great. This happened as well. In Russia, Lieutenant General Vladimir Alexeyev was shot 3 times this morning in Moscow. Whoa, political violence. Alexeyev serves as the first deputy chief of Russia's main intelligence directorate of the General Staff. In 2017, he was awarded the title Hero of Russia. Russian media have described Alexeyev as one of the key overseers in Russia's so-called volunteer formations fighting in Ukraine. That's why. It was obviously Ukrainians that did this. In the summer of 2023, he took part in negotiations with Wagner Group founder Yevgeny Prigozhin during the mutiny. Since May 2023, he's been actively involved in the creation of a new private military company intended by Russian authorities to serve as an alternative to Wagner and Prigozhin. PMC Redut, many former... what am I reading? PMC Redut, that's what it's going to be called. Many former Wagner fighters ultimately ended up within this structure. This morning, while leaving his Moscow apartment, Alexeyev was shot 3 times. He is currently hospitalized in serious condition. He was reportedly still conscious when paramedics arrived. He survived the attack, which is insane. 3 shots. And here's images that I will not show. First photos from the crime scene of the attempted assassination of Lieutenant General Alexeyev in Moscow have emerged, along with new details. A pistol was found in the inner courtyard of the building where the Lieutenant General lived and has been seized for forensic examination, where they're going to find you if you were not wearing gloves. Police are searching for a man, aged 35 to 45, average height, average build, basically your average male in today's society. He was captured by multiple secure surveillance cameras while fleeing the scene. Reports say that after being wounded, Alexeyev lost more than 3 liters of blood. Wow, and his blood pressure dropped almost to 0. Crazy. Crazy. He still survived, which is impressive. Medics managed to resuscitate him and transport him to the hospital. The general remains in intensive care and critical condition. Obviously, he's not doing well. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I guess none of the shots went to his head. Would have been just body shots. Crazy. Anyways, wishing him a quick recovery. I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. Regardless, it's a human life. Please don't kill each other, guys. Bible says no. Moving on from that, Trump is, of course, giving himself a big fat pat on the back about the Dow Jones Industrial Average, one of those indices of American stocks. It just hit 50,000 for the first time in history. Congratulations, America. Is 50,000 a good number or a bad number? I do not look at the Dow Jones, so I'm going to have to pull it up right now. I think it is obviously good, otherwise why would he be reporting that? I say this because Bitcoin is obviously not in a good price, and I don't see Trump talking about Bitcoin anytime soon. Yeah, indeed, it has hit 50,000 points. Congratulations to Dow Jones holders. You are now outperforming Ethereum and Bitcoin and every crypto asset ever. So, congrats. Not only that, but Trump actually doubles down on this. Trump says record stock market and national security, driven by our great tariffs. I am predicting 100,000 on the Dow Jones by the end of my term. Wow. Remember, Trump was right about everything. I hope the United States Supreme Court is watching. .m. Thank you for the .m at the end of your sentence. That would mean that the Dow Jones doubles in points to 100,000 by January 2029. That's a pretty good guaranteed return on investment if we are to trust in Trump at this point. But yeah. Hey, cool. Great. How are the other stocks doing? I have not really looked. I've seen stocks dropping, so I don't know how Dow Jones is up. I know it's only 30 companies. They must be like really important. Isn't United Health doing poorly? S&P 500 is already recovering, and it's about to make an all-time high soon. It's not that far off. Only at 1.5% from doing that. No, it's not 200. It's 100. I always mix up these numbers, dude. This is NASDAQ. NASDAQ is doing poorly. That makes sense. Because I saw a lot of the tech stocks dropping as well. Today, decent recovery. Though, up 3%. And then you also have, I guess, Russell 2000. This is what most likely correlates with crypto because it's high risk assets, low cap companies, right? And crypto is also high risk itself. But, I mean, this thing is just performing pretty well, and it seems like it's about to make another all-time high. Not that far off from doing so. Just another 2-3%. You're up at an all-time high for the Russell 2000. Meanwhile, crypto is at 70,000. Brother, what are we doing? Please, Trump, save the cryptos. Do something, man. Look at the dips that I've been buying. I've been doing my due diligence, okay? I don't know how much more you want me to do here. I'm hoping that was actually bottom. If it was, this would have been a legendary DCA position, and it will go down in the history books on my channel when I become rich and famous, and I will remember the few amount of people that are still watching. So yeah, anyways, moving on. Let's get into some actual analysis. Do I really want to read all this? Yeah, let's do it. So the Bitcoin crash will prompt deep self-reflection. Here is one from Jamie Coots. I don't know who this guy is, but chief crypto analyst apparently. So his opinion must be important. The last 4 months from the peak, what has happened? Price action was clear from the 90,000 breakdown in January, but it was back in September when I first saw potential for turbulence. At the time I wrote, I expect a Fed pivot. We got one, the end of quantitative tightening and reserves management. I expected the business cycle to inflect higher. It has. ISM went from 48 to 52. We talked about ISM before. I expected a normal 25 to 30% pullback, but we're now in a 50% pullback, which is true. The price of Bitcoin hitting 60,000. Its all-time high was 126,000. Half of that is basically, yeah, the 60-something thousand, whatever it is. 6-7. Bitcoin is a core position, but in September and October, I de-risked some peripheral positions. I could have done a lot more. My liquidity model was actually inflecting higher, so I held ground. But the technicals were decisively bearish. I saw it and I didn't act, and that is on me. Hey, same. Honestly. When I saw Bitcoin do this in the weekly chart, please load. Thank you. When I saw Bitcoin do this right over here, that was your signal to just get out. I mean, come on. That's not what I wanted. You saw this in 2022. Or 21. Yeah, it was about to be 2022. December, January, you get the point. We break below that. Yeah, it was a bit of a fake out over here, admittedly. Sure. But I mean, this one wasn't really a fake out. So that's your sign to get out. And look how long that lasted. 371 days, a whole year of a bear market. Where ultimately we dropped. I mean, after the get out of there signal, That's another 63% lower. Where we are today, I mean, same deal. I don't know if we're going to be here for a whole year. I really hope not. But if that does happen, I really don't think we will, honestly. Because Trump has to do something. Midterms. It's Trump. Last time it was Biden. Biden didn't care. And before that, Trump, yes, was still there, but he didn't know what a crypto was. He was literally saying it's fake magic internet money and I don't trust it. And I have it reposted on my account. So you can go and reference that. So this time, Trump has to do something. In my opinion, I feel like we might get a big fat reversal. That's just me being hopeful. What is the actual good reason for this to happen? That is a good question. I couldn't really tell you. Liquidity, I guess, the trillions that do exist in the world, the M2 supply, whatever you want to call it, quantitative easing, rate cuts, basically the fact that more money is just supposed to exist in the world. That's the kind of open door that I see to all of this going into crypto. But it's not really happening. We've done a lot of stuff. We have a government reserve. We have the ability to invest your 401ks into crypto. People are just deciding not to do that. We have ETFs. I mean, it's easiest access, easier to buy crypto today more than ever. Many different methods of doing so. But look where we are. People are still not buying. The sentiment is just not there. And something big is going to have to happen. Some FOMO event to get people talking about crypto again, getting excited about it again. I know that will eventually happen. It has to. Question is when, and the answer is you better be in it by the time it does happen. And that's what I'm doing. Look at that super trend. 99K in the weekly chart, and it's still dropping. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, back to this post, I guess. Man, I went on a huge tangent. Why didn't I act more aggressively? Because I failed to respect how wide the gap between thesis and price can get. If your time horizon is short, the only thing that matters is price. I also underestimated how finite marginal liquidity really is. October 10 rugged the broader market. AI scarcity repriced where capital flows, and the deleveraging event hit simultaneously. Crypto got cut off from the marginal liquidity equation in real time. It's not a blame game, but everything in markets is relative, and I didn't adjust fast enough. I'm going to take a sip of tea. Okay. Ugh. The deeper failure is one I think I may share. The psychology of this market reflects collective belief, and the collective treats Bitcoin and crypto as an ATM, not a utility. When the primary use cases number go up and price detaches from the utility function, the markets will distort. Previous cycle gains created a withdrawal reflex, not a conviction base. I knew this intellectually. I didn't price it into my risk framework. There was a gap between understanding the market psychology and actually respecting it with your positions. That is why technical analysis is powerful. I agree. None of this changes my long-term view. Bitcoin remains a core position. Blockchains are becoming integral global infrastructure, and that trajectory is accelerating. AI agents will need permissionless, programmable rails to transact. They won't wait for legacy banks to negotiate deals that preserve their margins at the consumer's expense. By the time incumbents finish lobbying for regulatory moats, the early agentic economy should be visible for all to see. What did I just read? The cycle pain is real. Yeah, we're in a bear market. But the thesis remains intact. Today's move is approaching capitulation levels on many metrics. However, credit needs to go to people who applied a different framework and were early and right. La la la. One more thing. Every analyst needs a framework that suits their own psychology and time horizon. No framework works 100% of the time. What matters is that you do the work. Build a thesis, test it, evolve it. Other people have done it consistently. Their track records speak for themselves. Okay. Yeah. And people will get, obviously, their predictions wrong. So that's just part of life. We learn about it. Now, this could be responsible for some of the crashes going on here. This was interesting. I don't know how this happened.
an exchange, Bithumb, accidentally sent hundreds of users 2,000 bitcoins instead of 2,000 Korean. What is KRW? Korean won. Wow, very creative name. People who got that immediately dumped their Bitcoin, crashing the Bitcoin price 10% lower on Bithumb compared to other exchanges. It's just a classic example of paper BTC, as Bithumb's total reserves are just 46,000 Bitcoin. Imagine messing up that badly. First of all, why are you sending 2,000 Korean? How much is that in money, in normal money? I literally looked it up. Where did it go? Give me American dollars. Who cares about Canadian dollars? US dollar. They said 2,000. $1. Is it actually just $1? Are you kidding me? There's got to be a joke, right? No, really. Okay, well, I guess they're trying to send people $1.37, and they actually sent them a lot of Bitcoin. $2,000 worth of Bitcoin. Which, no, sorry, 2,000 Bitcoins worth of dollars. That's the right term to use. How much money is that? Whoops, that is too much zeros. Bitcoin's price is 70,000. It's about $140 million. What are you doing? How? And these people, of course, if you suddenly just receive Bitcoin by accident from your exchange, what are you going to do? You're obviously going to sell it, right? You're not going to transfer it to a cold wallet or risk it getting seized. You can't seize Bitcoin. I mean, you kind of can if you're the US government. But anyways, how did this happen? A major operational mistake at South Korea's crypto exchange, Bithumb, reportedly led to the accidental distribution of 2,000 Bitcoins, which is worth $130 million, instead of 2,000 Korean wons, $1.50, as a rewards payout. Okay, it did the math for me, but thanks. According to multiple reports, a staff member intended to issue a small random prize worth about $1.50, but they mistakenly entered Bitcoin as the unit. How do you mess up that bad? Anyway, as a result, hundreds of users received unexpected Bitcoin payouts, totaling roughly 2,000 Bitcoins, value of nearly $130 million at current prices. Recipients, I mean, what did they do? They immediately sold, causing Bitcoin on Bithumb to crash more than 10% below global market prices before stabilizing. That is crazy. The incident highlights how internal ledger errors and off-chain accounting can still create severe market dislocations, even in 2026, with no corresponding on-chain movement of real Bitcoin. Costly reminder that exchange risk remains very real, and that's an issue that we all saw on October 10. Everything got omega liquidated and crashed to impossibly low prices, and if you look at every single exchange, the wick, you know which wick I'm talking about, they hit many different prices as their low prices. And on Bithumb, what did we see for Bitcoin? Okay, this is in like Korean wons. I don't know. This is BTC KRW, right? I can't see the image. Yeah, it's because the X is there. Okay. So it is that. I guess I have to do the math here. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up this Google thing again. No Canadian dollar, US dollar. Is it glitched? Hello? US dollar? Okay, well, I guess it's not working. To USD. There we go. So, how much money is this? 97,746. 000. So that means the price of Bitcoin, normally 66,000, wicked all the way down to, what does this look like? 81,250? 81,250, 000. It wicked down to 55,000. That's not too bad. That's pretty bad. 55,000. Crazy wick all the way down there. Interesting. And yeah, also this, like me when I suddenly receive free 2,000 Bitcoin, you just sell it. Come on. If you received Bitcoin, I'm just sending that to a cold wallet. I'm sorry, I'm not selling that. I'm not going to pull a Germany on you guys. So, Would I really do that though in my heart of hearts? No, really. I don't think I would sell my Bitcoin. Maybe, okay, maybe I would, but that's just to go leverage on it. Put it on an exchange, 3x leverage, and I just tripled my exposure with super low risk because what? Is Bitcoin supposed to drop to 53,000? It might actually, so I don't know. That's the risk. That's the beauty of it. What? Are you scared? No risk, no reward, pal. Get your number game up. Moving on. What are the billionaires doing? Grant Cardone. He's still buying Bitcoin, by the way. He announced another buy at 67,000, which we covered recently. And he just mentioned that he is selling his $78 million jet to buy the Bitcoin dip as well. And yeah, it's factually true. He announced today that he is selling his 2024 Bombardier Global 7500 jet around $78 million in value because Bitcoin is crashing and he is actively buying Bitcoin on the dip via Cardone Capital. The jet is listed on controller.com under N2, so I don't know what this is, with low hours. What do you mean with low hours? What does that mean? No idea. But yeah, it's true. The guy's actually selling for Bitcoin. Remember he sold his mansion for, what was it, 40 Bitcoin? That was also cool. And he only accepted Bitcoin, no cash. I don't know if he's selling this for actual Bitcoin. He probably should. Or maybe he just wants the fiat money, $78 million. Put a chunk of it in real estate and the rest to buy the Bitcoin dip on spot. That would be helpful too, rather than just a normal, boring OTC transaction that nobody's going to feel the impact of. So, hey, good for you, I guess. Lovely. Robert Kiyosaki. A lot of contradictions with this man. I don't know what to believe anymore. Do we trust the guy anymore? Help. He's getting old. Okay. Robert Kiyosaki says that he stopped buying Bitcoin at 6,000, but then last July he's just said he bought one above 117,000. He also sold silver and gold way too early, did not take advantage of the parabolic rise. The guy's just doing it all wrong. I mean, he's still making money, but he didn't make as much money as you were supposed to, maybe. So this is the old post. Robert Kiyosaki says, Bitcoin over 117,000 a coin. I'm going to buy one more Bitcoin ASAP. Did he really buy it though? He just said, it's never been easier to become rich, even a millionaire. Please study, learn, and find out if Bitcoin is your path to becoming a millionaire. Take care. I love my Bitcoins, all of them. And then he told us that he sold them, first of all. He sold them at 90,000 after allegedly buying at 117,000. And even after this, so February 6th, today's post, he says that he stopped buying silver at $60. He stopped buying Bitcoin at 6,000. Well, I mean, here you are trying to buy it at 117,000. So what do you mean? And gold at $300. Didn't he sell silver at how much did he sell silver at again? He sold it like way too early. That's what I remember. He didn't sell it at the 100 plus that it hit, 120 plus. So I don't know, man. Yeah, 2025 rich dad, 2026 poor dad. That basically sums it up. Or maybe he just really doesn't remember his last tweets. Maybe he's just lying to us at this point. So I don't know. What do we expect from the guy? Vitalik Buterin. He has been selling off as we have been covering. 6% of all his Ethereum is gone in the last 2 days. He went from 241,000 ETH to 227,000 ETH. And also basically announcing that ETH L2s are dead yesterday. He did announce that. We covered that live. What is going on? Tom Lee, of course. It's so funny because, where is it? I'm sure Tom Lee has the post. But first I'm going to talk about this, okay? Based on recent reports from Arkham and sources like Binance and BN Crypto, Vitalik did sell around 1,441 Ethereum, roughly 3.5 million, in the past 2 days for charity. Okay, sure, for charity, totally. He withdrew 16,000 ETH last week for projects, potentially reducing holdings from those amounts, 241k to 227k. The exact figures vary by tracking addresses like on Arkham. He posted that ETH's original L2 vision is outdated due to L1 scaling. The improvement of Ethereum blockchain itself makes it useless for other projects that are trying to make use Ethereum blockchain to make it better. It basically renders it useless because Ethereum is good enough. That's the argument with the L1 versus L2s on ETH. there's that. The thing I wanted to talk about was Tom Lee. What are you doing, my guy? He reposted this from Vitalik. Here you go. More proof that Ethereum is the future of finance. Dude, this guy's dumping on you. What do you mean? And this is a joke post. I think it's a joke post, right? This guy says, talking about what's going on with Ethereum, random guy. The last say the quiet thing out loud things I'd like to hear from Vitalik is that ETH is a store of value and one of the most important apps on Ethereum. And Vitalik replied that exact phrase, ETH is a store of value and it's one of the most important apps on Ethereum. Sure, maybe it's a positive thing, but I mean, Tom Lee is just eating it all up. Dude, come on. I mean, still wishing the best, of course, for Bitminer. I want it to succeed, but this guy's too bullish. Way too bullish. I don't know. Might lead to his demise. Maybe one day he'll be right, and he will prove all of us wrong. I mean, I'll be there with him, probably. I don't know. I don't have money. Binance is aggressively accumulating Bitcoin to liquidate short positions. Manipulation? Maybe they're at fault for the rise of today. Maybe this time it's Binance's fault that Bitcoin is rising, and we're liquidating shorts now. Here's proof. They are indeed buying. That's a lot of buying. Is this all from today? Seems like it's 70 Bitcoins, 45, 98, 92, 12, 27, 49, 50, 50, 11, 29, 113 Bitcoins. Here's the values of each one. 6 million, 7 million, 2 million, 768,000, 3 million, 3 million, 3, 1 million, 6 million, 6, 2, 4 million, etc. They've been buying. Good for Binance, finally. I mean, as part of it is with the Seifu fund, right? But I don't think that's like an actual Seifu fund type buy. They said that they would span it out over, I think it was a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. They literally dumped Bitcoin and MicroStrategy to the pico bottom of 60,000 to line up perfectly with Strategy's earnings call date. Yeah, don't you find that suspicious too? This whole Strategy FUD that's been going on for basically months now, even since October. Bitcoin has been crashing every day up until MicroStrategy's earnings call date, which came in pretty bad. We did get a good surprise in one of the areas, I think revenue. But, I mean, earnings per share was terrible. And now that Michael Saylor's company's earnings have come out, well, now the FUD is over and we can start buying again, is what seems to be happening. No coincidence in crypto. This is a powerful message, in my opinion. Protect Michael Saylor at all costs. Yeah, God bless his autism. It saves him, honestly. China has banned domestic and overseas entities from issuing cryptocurrencies without approval. How can they do that? I don't know, but here's another way to rephrase it. Basically the same thing. China banned the overseas issuance of yuan-linked stablecoins without regulatory approval. Yeah, I guess they want to protect from outside sources. Any stablecoin that comes from anywhere other than China is not allowed. Okay. Let's see how it goes. This one was also funny. CZ, I don't know. People are throwing way too much hate at him, is what it seems like. He said, well, CZ posted poor again on January 24 of 2022, right when the bear market started. He's doing the same thing this time around. Poor again. Ha ha ha. Last time I posted this was when Bitcoin dropped from 67,000 to 30,000-ish. We did all right at the end. And then Dogwifcoin, the actual meme coin, Dogwifcoin's Twitter account, tweets the F slur in a reply. They're gonna get delisted, dude. What are they doing? That's pretty funny. Did they have any change in their price? Is this a big move? Big news for the unemployed. It's up 12%. I mean, so is everything else, but sure. Interesting. Defiant move from Whiff. There you go. And it's verified true. That's pretty funny. And if you care about earnings next week, this is what we've got. I'll only read the companies that I find relevant. Monday morning, nothing looks relevant. Evening open door technology, sure. Goodyear. That's about it. Nothing else important on Monday. Tuesday, you got Coca-Cola, CVS, Spotify. Nice. AstraZeneca, Ferrari, Oscar Health, Marriott. And then the closing for Tuesday, Robinhood, Lyft, Ford, Upstart, Cloudflare, etc. Wednesday open, Shopify, Unity, Kraft Heinz, T-Mobile, McDonald's. Nice. And Wednesday at the close, we got Cisco, Albemarle. Is that how you say it? QuantumScape. I don't know what those are. Okay, really nothing important then. Thursday, open market. At market open, Crocs. That's all I really see. Rest of these, what the heck are they? And at the close, okay, this is interesting. Coinbase. I'm interested to see that. Pinterest, Rivian, DraftKings, Expedia, Applied Materials. Okay. Coinbase, that's the important one on Thursday, I guess. I do have still some Coinbase I've been DCAing as prices have been getting nuked. What are we even at this point? I have it in the Canadian one, so I don't know what the American one is. The Canadian one, I don't even look at the numbers. I just see the chart is down. I'm like, yeah, I'm buying Coinbase. I don't even look at the American one. The American one is the one that I understand numbers. 165, that is brutal. This is actually like all-time lows compared to, not all-time lows. I gotta stop saying that. Pretty sure last time we saw this number was like April 7 last year. Indeed. There you go. Look at that memory. Can we get a subscribe for my invaluable memory? Yeah, well, there you go. We broke through every possible support, and the last one is there at the 142, which we just hit as well. Current price is 165. Earnings coming soon. Thursday, February 12, after market hours. Let's see how that goes. And then Friday, Advanced Auto Parts, Enbridge, Magnum, Moderna, and Wendy's. Okay. Nothing too important, honestly. Yeah, the only real one I care about is just Coinbase Thursday. That's it. Okay, cool. You know what's funny as well? I mean, speaking of these darn regulated ETF markets, I was trying to make a quick buck on Bithumb, and boy, did I just get destroyed in a bad way. So they paid out their dividend, which was expected. Great. They usually pay dividends around, 83 cents per share, 77 cents per share, 74 cents per share, etc., which means that this is a high amount for a stock that's only worth $10, $11, $12, and it moves based off the movement of Bitcoin, which is why I like it. Seems interesting in my opinion, right? If you have, I don't know, if you invest 10 grand in this thing and you bought it at, what would this have been? $14, $13? You get 770 shares, let's say, 770 shares. Okay. Then that month you get a dividend of 83 cents or 77 cents. You basically made $592 from investing 10,000. That's pretty good, isn't it? So I was expecting something similar to happen this month. That's like on average, right? I just gave you a random number from a random date. This time around, though, given the catastrophic drop that it had over here, I did some research on what even happened with this thing. They paid out 1 cent of a dividend. I sound Indian. 770. With that same 10 grand, this month they only paid you $7. No 500. None of that. And so I was like, dude, this is just my luck. There you go. My luck right there. Live for you. So I got paid, me personally, got paid $2 on this payout, which is just fabulous. But anyway, I'm sure there will be better months later that should give us the regular payouts of 70-something cents, 80-something cents in some occasions. I've seen it go above $1 in some instances, $1.20 in this instance, when Bitcoin was essentially nearing all-time highs, right? I mean, this asset was $16 per share. You get the point, right? But 1 cent after every other month just doing normally 70, 80, 90, $1 dividend payouts. Like, what is even going on? And it's a monthly one too. Which is why I like it. I thought there's no way you could go wrong with this. I don't see the way to go wrong with this. You move according to the price of Bitcoin. This is literally moving almost 1-to-1 with Bitcoin. Even if it's not perfect, you get the same general direction that Bitcoin moves. And on top of that, you get a monthly dividend, something that Bitcoin does not give you. I mean, yeah, you could stake it, but you're not going to get a return like that. This is giving you like I think it's 90% yield. Here it is. 97% yield just from dividends. What else is going to pay you that? But for whatever reason, this month decided to give you 1 cent. Like, what is even going on? And the reason for that, they said, is because they were not making any gains, because these people trade futures contracts, whatever it is, and the money that they make off of Bitcoin's volatility, ideally, if things go well, that's the payout that they give to the shareholders, which is why these are variable, right? 74 cents, 77, 83. You'll see that when Bitcoin's price is higher, they usually give a better payout, because obviously they've made a lot of money and they're sharing with as a dividend, right? But this time around, with the big drops that we've had, not even they expected it. It seems like they lost money this month. So they're not giving us any dividend payouts. And if they did, it's very minimal. It's worse than Nvidia. Even Nvidia, how much do they pay out in dividends? Yeah, 1 cent. Basically the same thing. And Nvidia costs 100 something, 180, almost $200 per share. Okay, so yeah, fine. This one costs $20, $28, $30, whatever it is per share. Oh no, not this one. Whoops. $9.69. I looked at the wrong ETF. You know, $10, $11 per share on average. It somehow is paying you a little bit more than what Nvidia would. But still, dude, 1 cent per share. Come on. And it happens to be like, as soon as I decide to invest in this darn thing, we get these kinds of dividend payouts. Historically, has never happened before. That's just my luck. It just goes to show it's me versus the markets, you know? I'm alone in this battle. That's okay. I will thrive. I have faith in myself. I'll do fine. That is it for tonight's stream. Wow, I yapped for way too long. We're fine. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I will... What am I going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow, I think I'm just going to continue numbering the episodes and finally come back with a number. I'm going to try to make that my goal, although no promises. So don't expect much. And then we'll see what other developments happen by tomorrow. Maybe Trump will post another racist meme that we'll talk about. That was really funny, though. The Obama monkey thing. Come on. Come on. That was pretty funny. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe if you haven't already before you go. And I will see you